On this episode of 585 Garage, I take my 88 Chevy Caprice on a road trip, and it only let me down a little bit. So I went to drive the Caprice to work this morning before I went to the islands. I plan on driving the car, and I'm still gonna, but we had a little bit of an electrical issue that was stemmed by something else going on. So you can see this mangled wire just absolutely stripped out. And so what had happened, and I don't exactly know how or why we didn't cap that off or where it was sitting up in here somehow. Anyways, it had fallen back on the bracket here, started itself on fire, killed all power in the car. It started this wire on fire, it started the negative wire on fire, but it was all caused by this belt. It had jumped forward 2 ribs and just was shredding itself apart. You can see around the interior of the engine compartment there's pieces of belt all over the place. So I'm thinking that's what caused it. You know, I guess most people would just say I'm gonna drive a different car, but I'm not most people. I'm gonna try and fix this and still go up to the Thousand Islands and take this car on a 3-hour trip. And I'm probably a little crazy for doing it, but I guess that was a little bit of spice that this episode needed. So we'll see what happens, and we'll get rolling with it as soon as I can get a buddy here with a trailer. And by the way, I don't know if I mentioned, I still have to go to work and work like half a day, and then I can leave. So this just got a little bit more time consuming. So I took a little look around the car, and guess what I found? A new belt, go figure. So before a buddy gets here to help me out, I'm gonna switch the belt now just to save some time a little later. And then all I'm gonna do is cut this wire out. I'm gonna put a new terminal in so I can connect the exciter wire to the alternator. And then I'm gonna put in a new ground cable, and we should be good to go and ready to hit the road. Fingers crossed. We'll see what actually happens. So I got a ride from the homie Joe, coming in clutch. Thank you, coronavirus, for sending all of my friends home and allowing them to help me at the drop of a hat on a moment's notice. So we're headed back to the house. We're gonna get the electrical box, and we're gonna see what we can make happen. So we just got back to the car after running home to get some tools. So we're gonna give it a shot at fixing this thing. I'm gonna start probably by replacing the belt, and then undoing all of the battery cables, cutting off one of the ones that caught fire. This one is just like unnecessary, that had from the swap. Don't even ask me why it wasn't like cut out the first time. I think I was gonna use it for something, but I don't remember what it was. So we're just gonna cut it out. And then here, the negative wire going right to the battery. I think for now I'm just gonna take it, and it's not like super bad. So I think I'm just gonna take some electrical tape that up, and put it back. Alrighty, so we got that wire cut out. We loomed the old one, just kind of made sure it wasn't going to catch on fire again. Got everything all hooked up. I got a new belt on. It was a little shorter than we need to, but we got that all kind of situated. And we're going to go ahead and fire it up and see what happens. Nice. So no fire, it's running, we're happy. Joe, this guy's an absolute godsend. No knuckles? Knuckles. thank goodness for neighbors. They will bail you out if you're good to them anytime you call. And it was just kind of convenient he was home today. So we're gonna hit the road here, try to make it to work, finish our day there, and I'll catch up with you guys once I get back to the house. I have to pack still, and actually I have to do some laundry, then pack, and then I can drive 3 hours all the way up to the Thousand Islands, and hopefully I make it now because I can't handle any more craziness. So we'll catch up with you guys at the house. Alrighty, so I said I was gonna meet up with you guys at the house. Didn't end up doing that. We packed. I got the car kind of washed. So it's better than it was today. And so I noticed two things. One, earlier when I was fixing the car, I noticed that this little plug here for the radiator, I don't know if you guys can see it or not, but it is a little dry rotted, and I'm worried that that is just gonna fly off of there and really inconvenience me a little later. Also, something else that I noticed while we were driving is that my fan switch, yes, I know the wiring in the car is atrocious, that my fan switch here got a little warm. So I'm gonna replace that with a 35 amp switch. And while I do that, I'm gonna let the engine cool. We're gonna swap that plug around, and we're gonna hit the road, and it's gonna be flawless. Also, you guys haven't seen it yet, but there is the 585 garage Corvette Z06 that is gonna be in the hands of Dad today, and he's gonna be my travel buddy. After our little incident earlier, I'm a little gun shy, so we're gonna try and make it up there today, hopefully before nighttime. All right, so we just got the new switch in. It's super beefy. I'm happy. I think it's gonna work really well. And while I was doing that, you know, all the skilled labor, Dad, being the absolute champ that he is, took care of this for me. So we're gonna get on the road here in a couple seconds, and I'll try and get a couple rolling shots, but we'll see what actually happens. So here we go, Thousand Islands bound. I did fill up before we left. Something else that's interesting, it's a little like, it's 197 miles, so it's a little under 200 miles. And I'm curious to know, a lot of guys have been saying that in their LS swaps, they've been getting like 24 miles to the gallon. So I'm kind of curious to know, with the tire that's on the car, with the 373s, the 4L80, and the 6-liter, plus the car weighs almost 4,000 pounds, a little under. I'm kind of curious to know what it's going to make for MPG, so we'll find out. Dad's joining me, so I'll show you the startup procedure here. So fans first, new beefy switch handled. That's fuel and ignition. Oh, gotta put keys in the ignition. Which one? I have too many keys. I think it's that one. And fire. You want some? I don't want to beat you. Oh, poor old man doesn't know. We got it on camera. That ground to gear. Grind you a pound? Sure. Beautiful day to go for a ride. The only thing New York has made easy, and I don't even think it was their idea. So you take this, stick it up there. Now, ideally, you're not recording with one hand and doing this with the other, but this is what's going on. It says easy, fast, go, and away you go. Let's boogie, boogie, boogie. If it would surprise you guys, I totally forgot to check the oil before we left, and so we had to stop over, or pull over and stop once again. So let's just see what it says here. Even though this car leaks a lot of oil, it It's usually not bad. Every time I check it, it's always got like the right amount in it. So I think we'll be fine. Use like half a quart. But we're not out of oil. That's the important thing. So I'm gonna go to the back, grab a quart of oil, and we'll put half of it in. All right. So I was just talking with my dad, because he's not surprised that I forgot to check the oil. And I said, hey, you know, I wouldn't mind going in and getting something to drink. It's a little warm out today. He's like, nah, it's not really that warm. He's got the air conditioning on in the Corvette. I don't have any air conditioning. I haven't gotten to that part yet. It's about a half a quart. Now we're just gonna send it. I'm just gonna get rolling here. I'm gonna go in and get something to drink. All right, back out from procuring refreshments. We're gonna get going here, and I'm gonna try and make it up to the islands. I checked the oil, we should be good. So I don't see any reason that I'm gonna have to stop again. Of course, I just said that now on camera, and there's a record. So we'll see what happens. Freedom! Hell yeah! An update. We're in frickin' Mexico, baby! Yeah! Who wants a piece, huh? Didn't have any problems, and things went pretty well. We actually ended up, I did the math, we got 19 miles to the gallon, which is something I was really happy about. So we have nothing left to do but enjoy some dirt roads and maybe do a couple burnouts. forgot to check the oil when I left, and so we were driving down the, oh, sorry.